Well, here's what we got going at the Big Money Garage today, November 18th, 2020. I'm pulling this 427 out. It still runs, but it has a little bit of noise that I'm concerned about. I think that engine sat too long since 1978, and some of the build lube probably turned into wax. So I need to go through it and maybe replace some bearings in it. But that last video, where you hear it run, that's the last time it ran. But I'm going to tear this engine apart and go through it and put, maybe 10-to-1 compression pistons in it, make it to where it can be driven on the street a little bit better. But with that thought in mind, as I said in the other video, I'm putting a small block in there. This is actually a 350, and new water pump, put a lot of new stuff on it. This is a high performance build engine. This machine shop, as I said before, rebuilt this motor for a customer who never came and got it. Now, I put the intake and these valve covers, they're the correct ones for a small block 67 Corvette, but those were actually on my 57 Chevy when I bought it years ago. But anyway, I've got this where it's ready pretty much to go in, running the short water pump. Got the power steering, the belts and everything lined up. Now I'm going to clean up those brackets and run a different alternator. That's just for making sure I've got everything lined up and got the correct parts. Anyway, I'm going to try to film this as I pull it. You'll see everything's unbolted. That motor's been in here a long time. I guess that's a good sign. I'm picking it up from the back first. Well, I need to lower it down some, or else I'll never get it through that transmission deal. Ooh, my knob broke off of this thing. This engine swivel is something I got off my stepdad Chuck. Sure do like it. Now I'm going to see if we pick it up a little bit more level. And this is the first time for me to pull an engine out of one of these year Corvettes. I hope I can get it out with that core support in the way. Well, it kind of looks like it's doing what it needs to do. Let me set the camera down, see if I can pull it forward some. Also, let me make sure it's clearing that console. Yeah. Everything's plastic on this car. You don't want to get too aggressive, you'll bust it. Well, that old big block's been in there for a lot of years. I don't know when the last time it was out was, but I never had it out. I hear it up against some plastic somewhere. Yeah. Well, knob broke off, so I have to make one. What an amazing thing. Okay, now I can come a little bit more forward. It's close. I should have got rid of the evidence of zip tying my radiator in temporarily with this car. It's only temporary. I have to find the right bracket that holds the top of the radiator. I'm sure it's in some stuff somewhere. Man. We're picking it straight up. There we go. For some reason it's grabbing hold of the starter on the ground. Should not be doing that. Oh, because I have a ground still hooked up. Imagine that. Something's always still hooked up. Somewhere I got ratcheting wrenches. I'll find my 9/16 ratcheting wrench 30 minutes after I get through with this project. Okay, now we can proceed with pulling some more. Kind of glad to video this stuff, you know. These make for good memories. I'm glad I still do this stuff. It's just like the old, everybody's going with these LS1 motors or whatever. And I don't know, I had more fun assembling this thing. I've been building small block Chevys for over 30 years. And I just don't see myself ever getting really excited about building a one of these new engines. Not to mention the fact that it's easy to keep these old things going. And with gas as cheap as it is, and it probably always will be from now on, I don't see the point in going through the headache of all that electronic stuff. That's a good old simple straightforward motor. And if depending on the way I gear this car, it'll probably get some decent mileage. Let me go back to trying to pull this thing out though. A little closer, a little more scary. What a great thing that swivel is. You got to remember to put those things on right. One time I had it where the crank handle was on this end, and at this point you wouldn't be able to use it. And the answer to whether or not the cord support has to be removed is no, it does not. Put a swivel to it. It's exhausting cranking on that thing. My camera seems to be jerking around some. I don't know why. It's probably because I'm doing something I should not be doing all by myself. Oh well. I'll film the crash if it falls. Okay, now I think the better thing to do would just be to roll the car backwards instead of shoving around on that. Yeehaw. I guess I could jack it up a little bit more. Too close for comfort. Maybe now. That's a much more comfortable feeling, having it away from the car. Now let me see if I can let this heavy monster down without it going all at once. Don't worry, 427, you'll go back in that car. It's where it belongs.